They say there are alleys not meant for humans, especially after midnight. At that hour, when even streetlights hesitate to shine, those alleys open wide like mouths, ready to swallow any misguided step. The sounds there aren't wind, but whispers, from things without names. The air reeks of damp and something else, something metallic, like blood, like tears. If a living soul were to wander in, they'd be nothing more than a flickering shadow behind the curtain of time, forgotten, nameless. In the early 90s, my aunt and her husband bought their first home. It was small, worn down, and a little run down, but tucked neatly at the end of a deep, eerily quiet alley. The house was shockingly cheap, cheap enough to make people suspicious, but to a young couple at the time, it was a dream deal. After years of saving, they finally had a place to call their own, a small, simple, and warm dream come true. At first, everything was perfectly normal. Life in the new house flowed with a comforting quiet. The alley was empty, neighbors were few, and at night only the rustling wind and the soft hum of insects broke the silence. It was as if the place was detached from the chaos of the world. Until one night, the knocking started, soft, like fingernails tapping on glass, sometimes at the back door, sometimes from the roof. No one was there, just the sound, repeating, steady, persistent, as if someone was patiently waiting to be let in. Always the same. 3 knocks, no more, no less. Precisely at 2 a.m., as if someone had set a timer down to the very second. Knock, knock, knock. The sound echoed in the silence, cold and bone-chilling. Nothing could be seen through the cracks of the door, no figure in the yard, no signs of forced entry. But night after night, right at 2 a.m., the 3 knocks returned, like a strange ritual, unwavering, haunting. Her husband didn't hear a thing. He said she was probably just stressed, imagining things, but she knew she wasn't. The knocking came back, night after night, like a cursed clock. And then, things started to change. It wasn't just sounds anymore. She began to feel something, a chill brushing her neck, a fleeting shadow at the end of the hallway, and eyes. Silent eyes watching her from a dark corner no one else could see. The knocks were only a greeting. Something was getting closer. Sometimes, on sleepless nights, she would see a faint orange glow flickering at the end of the alley. It wasn't the streetlight, she was sure of it. The light had been broken for years. The whole street plunged into darkness every night. This glow didn't stay still. It swayed, dim, then bright, gliding quietly across moss-covered walls and dusty windows. No sound, no footsteps, but she knew something was moving in the dark, and it knew she was watching. She tried to ignore it, told herself it was just her imagination. But with each passing night, the air in the house grew colder, heavier, as if every wall, every shadowed corner was holding something it shouldn't. She could feel the eyes, not human eyes, but something ancient, watching her quietly from within the dense darkness. No sound, no shape, just a presence, silent and chillingly real. One night, her husband finally saw it. He stood frozen at the door, eyes wide in terror. Out there, at the end of the alley, stood a tall, gaunt figure, skin and bones, motionless. It held an old, worn lantern. From the lantern came a strange orange light, dim yet breathing, pulsing faintly, as if alive. The alley fell into complete silence, and he knew something was about to happen. He didn't tell her right away. Maybe he couldn't explain what he had seen. Maybe he was afraid, afraid that speaking it aloud would make it real. But the next night she saw he didn't sleep. He sat at the edge of the bed, eyes sunken from sleeplessness, hands trembling as he clutched an old Bible passed down through generations. His gaze fixed on the window, on the endless pitch-black alley. She understood without asking. He had heard it too. He had seen it. They left on a foggy morning before the neighborhood awoke. No explanation, no goodbyes, no forwarding address or phone number. The house was left empty, doors shut tight as if no one had ever lived there. They disappeared, quietly, mysteriously, just like those who came before them. And the alley returned to its uneasy silence, as if waiting for the next to arrive. Though they left that house long ago, they never spoke of what happened, as if trying to bury it forever in silence. But now and then, on stormy nights, my aunt still dreams. In that foggy, cold dream, she hears 3 knocks, soft, slow, echoing from another world. And when she turns to look toward the end of the alley, the lantern is still there, flickering, wavering, as if it had never gone out, as if it was still waiting for someone to come back.